Hi guys. Today I will welcome back to the channel. Um, Today I will be ranking the XTC studio albums. Um, so yeah, let's just get started with this. Um, First we've got actually not an XTC album, but the Dukes of Stratosphear. Um, So yeah, Sonic Sunspot. I really enjoy this album actually. It's quirky, it's weird, really well made. Um, yeah, I can't really uh, say something that makes it, you know, less good. So I'm gonna have to put this thing in the A tier, I think. Um, just it really stands out in the catalog and in the 80s in general, I think. So yeah. Next up, we've got Oranges and Lemons. Now, this album I really enjoy. You know, you got some really good stuff on here, like some of Colin's best songs, I think. Um, One of the Millions, King for a Day, and then you get the Andy songs like Scarecrow People, Mayor of Simpleton, Chalk Hills and Children, Across This Ant Heap. Um, yeah, but then Garden of Earthly Delights. I like it because it's weird, but it's kind of a song that is a bit too hysterical. It's a bit too much going on there, and I think most people will agree that this album it is a bit overproduced. The songwriting is there, but it's just a bit overproduced. But I'm still gonna have to put it pretty high up. So I think, ooh, yeah. It's quite a long album as well. I'm gonna have to put it in A tier just because I really enjoy. Most people I think don't enjoy like Merely a Man and Pink Thing, and songs like that. But I just love them to bits. Uh, Next up we've got the album that came out a couple years after Oranges and Lemons. Um, None Such, which is also a really solid album. Maybe a bit overproduced, maybe a bit too long. Um, yeah, but it's still a really solid album. The Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead, Dear Madam Barnum, Disappointed, Then She Appeared, Books Are Burning, Wrapped in Grey. I'm not so fond of the Collins songs. I really enjoy The Smartest Monkeys. It's a bit cheesy, but I really enjoy it. But then War Dance and Bungalow, mm, they're not his best work, and Collins' vocals are starting to sound a bit old, I think. So yeah, but I can't really say that it's worse than Oranges and Lemons. So I'm gonna rearrange this ranking. So Oranges and Lemons I would rank slightly higher than Sonic Sunspot, and then I think I would put this just behind Sonic Sunspot. Um, yeah, and now we're really getting into the good stuff here. Apple Venus Volume 1, which is one of my favorite XTC albums. And, I can't really put it anywhere other than S tier because it's just such a beautiful album. I mean, again, the Collins songs, they're a bit weaker. Um, they're fun, like Frivolous Tonight and Fruit Nut. They're fun. But you know, they're not that long, so they don't really interrupt the flow of the album. And you know, the brilliance of songs like Easter Theater, Harvest Festival, Your Dictionary, Green Man, Easter Theater, and you know, The Last Balloon. They kind of make up for it. So yeah, definitely S tier stuff. And then we got Wasp Star, which I know most people think is sort of a uh, less great album than Apple Venus Volume 1, which it definitely is. And, you know, again, the Colin songs, I'm not a big fan of those. Sorry, Colin. But, yeah, Boarded Up and um, Standing In for Joe is kind of fun, but yeah, In Another Life, I'm not that fond of those. But then again, I haven't listened to this album that much either because I don't own a physical copy on it, of it, and it's not available on like streaming services. So yeah, maybe I haven't listened to it as much as I should. But you know, I really enjoy Church of Women, The Wheel and the Maypole, of course. We're All Light. You and the Clouds Will Still Be Beautiful. Um, so I'm still gonna put it like high up in B tier, I think, just because it's a very good rock album. Uh, and then we get to White Music, which is their debut, of course. Um, which again I haven't listened to that enough times as of lately, so I can't really judge it properly. But you know, it's got some good stuff. It's got some decent stuff, and it's got some meh stuff on it. Like Statue of Liberty is brilliant. Radios in Motion is brilliant. Um, but yeah, I haven't really gone into that album, so I'm gonna have to put it in C tier, I think. And then we get to Go To, which I'm also gonna have to put in C tier because I haven't listened enough to it. And I know that some of, I think, Barry Andrews did some songs on it, which they're not, they're simply not good. So, but there's still brilliant stuff on here like Battery Brides, and Mechanic Dancing. So, yeah. And now we're really getting into the good stuff here. Drums and Wires. Now, Drums and Wires is one of the first XTC albums I heard, I think. And it just really grew on me really fast. Um, yeah, and to think that it came out just, you know, the year after Go To, which Go To wasn't a great album, that's just insane. But then, you know, Barry left and Dave joined, so maybe that has something to do with it. Um, yeah, and the production probably got a bit better. So this album definitely S tier. I'm gonna have to put it even, you know, a step higher up than Apple Venus because it's just a brilliant album from front to back. A Rhodes Gilder Globe, Complicated Game, When You're Near Me, I Have Difficulty, Making Plans for Nigel, of course, um, Helicopter, Scissor Man. It's just, I love that album to bits. So, and then we got Black Sea, which is also a favorite of mine. Um, and I have to do it justice. I have to put in S tier. But I'm probably gonna put it or do I have to put in S tier? That's the question. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in S tier because it's just a solid rock album. The production is stellar. Um, the songs like Towers of London, um, Generals and Majors, Respectable Street, um, Rocket in a Bottle, uh, Living for Another Cuba is really good. Um, Burning with Optimism, Flames. Yeah, love that album. And then we get to English Settlement, which is also really solid. I mean, XTC were really at their peak in like the late 70s, early 80s, I think. And English Settlement is also really good. Census Working Overtime, Jason and the Argonauts, Leisure, English Roundabout. Uh, the main difference between English Settlement and Black Sea in Drums and Wires is that it's a double album, which makes it a bit too long, I think. A bit too repetitive. I mean, still really has a lot of variety in it, but yeah, just the length of the album and some songs are a bit forgettable. I think I'm gonna have to put it like, yeah, in the top of A tier because of that. So I'm sorry, but it's still a really good album. And then we get to Mummer, which came out a year after English Settlement. And Mummer hasn't really grown on me. I know some people really enjoy Mummer, and I'm gonna have to say I enjoy most of the songs on it. Funk Papa Roll, Lady Bird, Love on a Farm Boys, Wages, Great Fire, and there's some more stuff that I enjoy. But then there's also some songs that I don't really care for. So I'm gonna, and the production is a bit weird. It's a bit too much 80s. So I'm gonna have to put this like right here in B tier, I think. Right below Wasp Star, because Wasp Star is just better in terms of hooks and just drawing you in, I think. And then we got The Big Express, which came out after Mummer. And I think for Big Express, they really upped their game. I think it's a much more solid album than Mummer. You've got songs like All You Pretty Girls. This World Over is so beautiful. I want to cry every time I hear it. Seagull Screaming, Kiss Her. Train Running Low and Soul Coal. Wake Up, I'm not a big fan of Wake Up. And again, the production is a bit too much 80s. Sometimes there's a bit too much things going on. And that kind of takes away from the songwriting. But yeah, I'm still gonna have to put this like at the top of B tier, I think, because it's a really good album. And then we got the Dukes of Stratosphear return again. Whoa! 25 o'clock, which isn't really an album. I'd call it a mini album or an EP. It's got 6 songs on it. And it was more like a joke, I think. More of an experiment than an actual album, and I wouldn't call it an XTC album. But yeah, it's still really good and weird and psychedelic and lovely. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to rank it since it's not an album and it's not an XTC release. But I'm gonna have to put it. How do you rank an EP? Mole from the Ministry, that's really good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put it you know, based on the songs, is it better than the Big Express? Maybe not. Maybe I put it just below the Big Express. Sure, why not? I still love it though. And then last but not least, definitely not least, we got Skylarking, which is just so beautiful that I'm gonna have to do it justice and put it here, right before Black Sea and right after Apple Venus Volume 1. It's just a really beautiful, pastoral, lush album. Deals with a lot of subjects. The lyrics are great, and especially the Colin songs. I mean, I almost always enjoy Andy's songwriting, but the Colin songs on this album are also really strong, like Big Day, Sacrificial Bonfire, and The Meeting Place. So, and Grass, of course. You can't forget about Grass. I really love that song. So, yeah, there we have it, my friends. Here's my XTC ranking. It's fairly even between like the different tiers, I think. I mean, I could put all XTC albums in S tier and call it a day. But if we're gonna be honest, while I love everything that the band has put out, and just the album, the band as a whole and their discography is really solid, and not that many bands have a catalog that is this solid and this, you know, this varied, I think. And XTC really just got better and better. They're one of those bands that the next album they released was better than their previous one. I mean, not quite, but you know, almost. I think they just got better and better over time. And yeah, I'm just rambling on now. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and I will see you next time, whenever that is. Bye.